Today we're going to talk about why we got into reading or what books impacted us a lot when we were little or whatever have you. So we're just going to dive right into that.
Welcome to BNH.READOUT,
where the out stands for our unique thought.
I'm B.
And I'm Harmony.
Because we're figuring out our new camera. Anyways, so a little background history on me. I was not an avid reader when I was growing up. I actually hated reading. Hated it so much. And now I understand, like, my kids, they're always complaining that they don't like reading. And I'm like, it's good for you. Yeah. And I understand now why it is good for you to actually read, even if you don't like to. But it just is so hard. It's difficult to read when you have difficulties reading.
Difficulties.
Because I have ADHD and dyslexia, and it's like those combinations together. Like, you just get so many brain farts all the time. You forget words half the time. Half the time it looks like gibberish, and you don't know what the heck it's actually saying, even though it's like the easiest word. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, am I saying it right? Am I not saying it right? So when I was little, I got held back in the third grade because of it too. I mean, I was in the fourth grade, got put back into the third grade. So I repeated third grade twice because I had a hard time reading. I hated reading out loud. Stupid boys always made me feel like crap. And you're like an impressionable age when you're little and you want to be accepted. And I always made me sad. Anyways, thankfully I got put into a class where it was with, it was like an all girls class, and the teacher was just amazing. She made me feel comfortable and made it a lot easier for me to have fun when I was reading. I still didn't like reading, but she made it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books reading when I was little was Silly Sally. I don't know if anybody knows that one because it's amazing. If you can see it. I'm Carl Harmony's face. Silly Sally went to town walking backwards upside down. I still kind of remember it. Like, I memorized that whole entire book. Like, I could read back from up and down. I was upside down reading it half the time because it was such a good book. And that one was like the only one that I read, like, seriously read and really got into. Because other than that, like, maybe it's because it was funny. I don't know. But, like, even the school assignment books that they had, like, Where the Red Ribbon Grows, or what's the other one? To Kill a Mockingbird. Like, all the Giver, like, all these books that we were supposed to read in school. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, 99%, I didn't read any of them. I don't even know how I got away with that, but I didn't. And then they would watch the movie in class, so it was like, yeah, you can freaking act like, a lot of times, because especially those ones, a lot of the movies were a little more spot on to the books, like those ones specifically. And so it's like you can BS your way through the test because it was like, oh, it's all in the movie. Yep. And so, like, for the longest time for me anyways, I was more of a movie person. Like, visualizing this, granted, didn't really know about audiobooks because who really knows about them when you're little? No one tells you. I mean, they had like the audiobooks with the listen and the read ones.
And you would do like on the computers.
And those ones were helpful to me. And I didn't realize that for me, I do need to have a little bit more of that audio base when I read because it helps me comprehend a little bit more. Yeah. But then I also realized that I actually wasn't reading the right books. So, like, when I was 16, I was like, oh, I want to get back into this. I want to read. I want to read, right? Because people were reading Harry Potter books at the time, all these Twilight, and I was like, I just want to read. Like, I want to like to read. Yeah. But for some reason, I just couldn't. And granted, I was picking up books like Jason Bourne, like these big ass books that were like probably so boring. Yeah. Another fact about me, which I've said this multiple times, I hate third person. Like, I understand it and I get it. And, like, sometimes I can accept it in a story because it's meant to be there. And, like, currently I have to write a third person in one of my stories. And I'm like, I'm not happy about it because I'm not a huge fan of third person. However, again, it's all encompassing and I understand why it's there. So then I realized that I was reading the wrong books because a lot of them were third person. They were bringing me weren't bringing the story to me. They were bringing it around me, if that makes sense. And so one of the books that really, really got me into reading was, if I can find it, where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. You can't really see it because it's glossy. It's called The Grace of Running. It's actually, my sister wrote this book. She actually wrote this book when she was 16.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's cool.
So, it was an ongoing thing. She wrote it. She's a writer and has written a lot of different books. However, she had this one out on Amazon, but we took it down because she wants to re-edit and we want to redo the cover since, like, if you could see the cover, I actually made this cover and that was like the first time I ever made a cover. So you can see it. We've come a long way. Like, that's not how I make covers anymore for books. But this book got me really into reading and understanding the genres that I like and why first person is really important to me, because it actually helps me be immersed in the story and feel like I'm that character. Yeah. If that makes any sense. And so with this one is, it's a girl, her name's Grace, and there's a guy named Seth. And there's lots of juicy stuff in here. Not juicy, like spicy, because it's not really a spice book, but
I was
like
gonna say she wrote it when she
lots and lots of drama is what I shall say. Because like it really is actually a really good book though. Like, especially for a starter, if you're not into like jumping into spicy stuff. Like, she has like these, like this one specifically, I think it's almost like going in from like a movie where it's like a blackout screen, where it's like they have a moment, but it's like,
and then it fades to black.
But it blacks out, right? So like you don't get the whole entire thing, but you kind of get a little bit of something. So like this book actually is really good for that. I highly recommend it once we actually republish it. So
that'll be exciting. Now to let me know.
Harmony will actually read it and she'll review it. So because that's one of the, actually we have 1, 2, 3 other ones, I think, from her that will be coming out too. So just so you guys keep that on your radar. So after I read this, though, then I got really into I was like, oh, now I understand what I need to read. So then I started reading a lot more and getting more into, like, I read Hunger Games. I read, like Divergent and but it was almost like it unlocked a part of my brain where I could understand. And I was like, oh, I really enjoyed this. Another series that I really liked back then too was the Matched series. Have you ever heard that one? Oh, I think it's Ali Khan. Sorry, I want to say it right because I think it's Ali. Is it Matched? Yes. Ali Condi. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Maybe not. I could put it in there later, whatever. That one's a really good one, a good series too. Like I really got back into like all of the young adult books because they were easier reads. Yeah. And as I continued to read more, I was like, I really like this stuff. I'm really into this. That's when I actually started my book blog, the Two Tall Tales. I started that one. My sister was in on it with me too a little bit. But then I got into like the book tours and I was like with all of that stuff and it was amazing and I absolutely loved it. And that's actually why we're getting back into this because it was great getting to know authors and being a gateway for them to share their joys of books and their writing and it feels great to be validated by them too, where it's like, I read your book and you actually appreciate it. So, I mean, and I appreciate your books too, like vice versa, like just, I don't know. Yeah. It's just a great community. But then from there, like I started getting really into a lot of different books, like Sawyer Bennett books. I love her books. I actually have, she has a couple books she like releases a lot of books, like Nora Roberts. They're like just dropping like daisies. I'm like, where does this come from, guys? I've been writing a book for the last 5 years and I still haven't even got to chapter 2. 5 years. No 2. None of it. I don't get it. But yeah, she like I am still on her street team essentially.
Oh.
And I got an email saying that she dropped another one. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll probably put that on our blog. But I was like, another one? I remember when you only had a few, and now you have all these other ones. I actually have a couple of signed copies of her books.
Oh,
too.
that's cool.
So, I mean, like, I also like this for this purpose as well, is like getting goodies from authors. Getting like signed copies and stuff. Actually, I don't know if I told you that. So the one lady, her name's Shelley Waters.
Mm-hmm.
Watter.
Okay.
Waters.
Waters?
I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong.
Waters?
I'm again dyslexic. She is sending me a signed copy of her Awakened book that's being released. She's the one that's doing the Arizona events.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, thank you.
That's exciting.
And so we're on her street team. So all we have to do is just share books. Like, that's hard.
Well, that one will be coming soon, then.
Oh, right. It is. I actually already have the post on the feature blog.
Okay.
So soon our blog will be up too, because that's on our way. That's just, we're busy moms. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, drum roll on to Harmonies. What books did you not listen to, but read when you were little that brought in the impression or joy of reading for you?
I don't remember any like younger. I think I was around like 5th or 6th grade, and I was reading Where the Red Fern Grows. And I read that book probably a dozen times. I absolutely loved Where the Red Fern Grows. I'm pretty sure I even bought a copy for my kids to read, and then I don't know what happened to it. So
I feel like Harmony likes sad things. That's just a sad
no,
book.
I'm a little bit of like all different kinds of reads, but that was where I really like remember like, wow, I picked up this book. I like this book, and now I'm going to continue to read it, and then I'll read it again. So
that one's like a good reread for you. Like you
Yeah.
can see yourself reading it multiple times throughout the life spent your life.
I haven't read it since I was probably in high school.
Okay.
But I did reread it, like I said, like a dozen times.
Yeah, of course.
Growing up and in my school years. And then I read Shiloh. Shiloh was another. Maybe I had a thing about like, I always wanted a dog. And then I didn't have one.
Told you
So
she
I
said
read
that
about him.
story. It was
Yeah.
a sad story.
So I read Where the Red Fern Grows, Shiloh, when I was younger. I too, though, like I am ADHD and I have dyslexia. So reading is harder. I'm a slower reader. And I'm a rereader, and like this sense of like, I didn't quite understand that paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go back and reread what just happened in order to fully comprehend what I just read and stay, into the story. But
I think that's why audio helps me,
yeah.
because it's kind of similar, but it's like someone else reading it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it like rewires that function, I guess, in my brain.
Yeah.
But I'm very similar.
I have yet to do a,
She's lame.
listen to a book.
She's lame. You guys, like, call her out, like, in the comments, put Harmony's lame.
I've thought about
Your
it.
love
But there's
making
a couple
is
books
lame.
that I have in mind where I'm like, maybe I'll listen to the audiobook instead of reread the book.
Yeah.
Just for you.
I mean, lights out, baby. Give me some lights out on that one, because that one,
That's a good one.
chef's kiss.
But my younger years, though, going back to like when I was a new mom, I was, 20 years old. I was reading, I did read Harry Potter. I read the Twilight series. I attempted to read like a book and a half of the 50 Shades of Grey series.
I'm sorry.
And I ended up just was like, okay, this is boring. Like, it's just the same thing over and over again.
I'm
had to
sorry
put
that
it
you
down.
did that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So I liked the first book a little bit. Like, I was like, wow, like this is kind of interesting. It was my first like real
Schmut.
spicy
Oh.
mutt book. I was like, oh heavens, but I don't know. I read those. I also read the Immortal Instruments books as well. Those were given to me by a friend, and I borrowed them from her and read those. I like those. And then there is another book that I read and I still think about, and I can't figure out the name of the book to pick up a copy of it again. But I remember the main male character, his name was Constantine. And I'm pretty sure it was a vampire book. A friend of mine lent it to me, and I cannot remember the name of the book. And I wanted to buy it again, and I haven't been able to figure it out. Hopefully Brenna can help us out. But I read that one, and I enjoyed that one. Again, that one was a book that a friend had lent me, and I borrowed and read in like a week. It was really good. But then after that, I spent, oh gosh, like almost 10 years where I kind of read a book here and there. You know, I read some Susan Wiggs books over the past 10 years and Colleen Hoover. But I went a long time without reading for a while. Like, at least like, I mean, I would read a book, you know, maybe one book a year. Like I didn't read what I'm reading now until it was last year when I started reading It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. And I read those before the movie came out. And then my husband got me the Court of Thorns and Roses and Fourth Wing. And now I am on the Onyx Storm book, and I have read like 12 books so far this year.
Yay!
So I'm back into the reading, and
she needs to read our book club one too.
Yes, I will get to that one as soon
giveaway.
as I'm done with this one. I am, enter our giveaway, please. It's on our Instagram, BNH.READOUT. Enter the giveaway.
It's right.
It ends May 4th, because we all know what day that is.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Ching,
if
ching,
you know,
ching, ching.
comment below and let us know
Ching,
you know.
ching.
Wait, chink chink? Why chink chink? It'd be whoosh.
Mine's a little chink chink. Yours is a whoosh.
Anyway.
Mine's a Swords. May the Swords be with you. Still haven't seen that movie. Never mind. Oh, gosh. Spaceballs, anybody?
I haven't seen it. I will though.
Lord,
I'll watch it.
Help her.
Anyway,
need.
But
Continue, sorry, Onyx.
It was that it was the ACTAR series or ACOTAR or however you say it that got me back into reading because I rang in the new year of 2025 with the flu, and so I read that whole series in a month, and I loved it so much. And now I'm reading the Fourth Wing series. I'm on Onyx Storm now, and I've read 12 books this year so far.
You know what's funny? Iron Flame, right? You know how I'm debating if I have read it or not?
You did. You listened.
I must have. Anyways, I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember like the beginning part and I remember the end. So I'm like, whatever. I got the gist of it, guys.
Yeah.
But it was funny because when I was talking to a client.
Oh no.
And I thought the ending of Iron Flame was the ending of Fourth Wing. For some reason, I don't know, because I'm blending the books together. I don't know. So she was in the middle of Iron Flame and I said something to her about it. I was like, oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I messaged her though, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I like unknowingly
I didn't know.
Spoiled this for you, and I am horrible. I'm a horrible person. And she's like, actually, it's quite funny. She's like, I forgot our conversation in like 10 seconds. So when I read the ending of it, I was still shocked. And I was like, oh, okay, good. I was like, I'm glad you had a Dory moment because I felt so bad. And then she's like, after I read it, 5 minutes later, I realized that's what you were talking about. And she remembered after.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay.
That's
at least
good.
you didn't remember during, because I was like, oops. I'm sorry. Like, sometimes with my ADHD, I say things without realizing, but also, like, these books there's so many of them. It's like trying to compile it all together. I'm like, what book is that from? Especially if there's a trilogy. I'm like,
I just found out too recently that there isn't just a book 4. There's 5 supposed to be in the Empyrean series.
I can't even.
So, and she hasn't even started on the 4th.
And the
book
TV
yet.
series is supposed to be coming out soon too.
Yeah, well, that's in like script process. It's not. We're not even near filming yet.
Yeah, but would it be because I heard she hasn't even started book 4 yet.
No, she has not even started book 4 yet.
So if they're in the script processing for
Fourth Wing,
the TV series,
Mm-hmm.
but she hasn't even written book 4.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen, guys? Like,
Well, I'm sure the first,
will she write?
Season will
Here's
just be of probably a portion of the fourth or the first book.
Hopefully, because here's the issue I would face though. It's like I wouldn't want, because I've seen this happen before. I'm sure there's like other TV series that's happened before where it hasn't. I think it was Game of Thrones actually, where the book wasn't out yet, and then they rush. Mm-hmm. Either they rush the seed, as part of the show, or they rush the books, and it's like, I want you not to half-ass this.
Yeah,
I wanted to give real light to whatever, stay true to the story,
mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes at a certain point in some, not all authors, just some authors, they get that pressure that they have to get it all out, and
then they have to rushed.
They get rushed and they push, and then it just flops.
I hope not. Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. I really hope. I'm just maybe start writing book 4 and 5.
Well, she just finished writing the Fourth Wing,
the comic
graphic novel. Yeah. So she just finished that, and then there's no date or time that she'll be starting or even thinking about book 4. Yeah. So
I'm dead, guys.
But
this is why I didn't want to start it.
I know. But I'll put my patient pants on and I'll be patient and wait.
Those are some ugly pants. You better take them off.
And then we still got the ACOTAR. I don't know how to say it.
ACOTAR.
Court of Thorns and Roses.
The ACOTAR books also still have books that need to be coming out.
I don't know
too.
how many are supposed to be in that one.
I mean, granted, maybe we should start on. I'm pretty sure Throne of Glass series is done.
Yes, that one is a completed series.
That one could be something that happens, but
I have all of those too. I need to read those.
The first one I read. So here's my take on that one. I haven't read it. I read the first one when it first came out. So when she first released the book series, I read that one. Absolutely loved it. Okay. But then I had to wait patiently with my patient pants on for the next book to come out. And then when it came out, because of my ADHD brain, or at least just how my brain functioned, that's my ADHD for me.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking can remember what happened. This is why I need the whole set, because then I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I can get the whole story complete. I want to support the author, but it's and then I have an issue with rereading some books.
Mm-hmm.
Not all books, just some. And so when I go back to reread some, I'm like, I already read this, but I don't remember it until I start rereading it. And then I'm like, oh, I don't really want to read this.
Yeah.
So I have that issue too. So I'm like, brain of mine, will you please stop doing this to me? But that's my issue is I want them all out, because then it makes it easier for me to actually read.
Yeah.
Anyways, so books those were my books that I got into and really got into, and then I found a love for writing. I didn't realize that I would really like to write.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in the works of 3 different books, but it's still that one from 5 years ago. That's not even on chapter 2.
We'll get there.
Oh my goodness, the battery's gonna die.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for being here and listening to us, and we really appreciate you guys. Subscribe, comment down below, all those little things that they always say, I guess, because you think we're cool. I don't know.
Yes.
But bye.
Bye.
Ah! Go away.
Bye now.
I know. I'm a bad person.